Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. I'm here with Tyler Tone. We're here to do another Paul T. Anderson movie. This time, There Will Be Blood, which was one of my favorite movies ever. I really love this. Is this your favorite PTA movie, or how do you rank it?
My favorite's Punch Drunk Love, but this is like a second. And I think, unlike a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson movies, I don't think this movie wastes a second, which is something I really appreciate about it. But I mean, it's just an awesome movie. There's so many things to like about it. So it's very high up there.
Yeah, let me tell you. So I was holding my son the day after, and I was like enjoying it a lot more than usual. You see, I was not like, oh no, I need to be doing something else. I was holding him, and I felt very agentic, like I could do other things at the same time. And I realized what had happened. I had watched Daniel Day Lewis um, carrying his son everywhere, and I'm like, that's cool. That's a good role model. That's a good father, carrying his son everywhere, still being able to do awesome things. And I was just like, does this happen to you? Like, where you see a character that's really cool, and then you maybe for a little while, like, find yourself kind of taking after them?
Um, yes, I'm trying to think of an example. Um, Maybe Brad Pitt and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought he was like so cool in that movie, and it was like, I wish I was, the exact same. His like mannerisms, the way he carries himself. You know, he's just so cool in that movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which one was it? Was it Brad Pitt or DiCaprio who goes into
Brad
that?
Pitt,
It was Pitt who goes into the. Was DiCaprio in that movie?
DiCaprio was
Yeah, yeah. Who was the one who went into the Manson compound and was like just kind of not being a
the
full.
desert
Yeah.
one. That was
Uh-huh.
Brad Pitt. Yeah,
That was Brad Pitt. Yeah, that was
yeah,
cool. Uh so anyway, so yeah, I had that. That's a good side. I like the uh and the his movies. Daniel. His name is Daniel Plainview in the film, right?
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I have this couple the John Hamm in Mad Men. There's like that too. Why am I blanking on his name? Of course I know. What's his name?
Don Draper.
Don Draper, of course. What am I doing? Yes, Don Draper. That one's another one, and like Tony Soprano. Like those are like kind of my favorite all time characters. But yeah, Daniel Day Lewis here is up there with them. Uh, and yeah, I mean, so was this? Let's we like I don't know. Like I think it's good to sometimes start on the background of the movie. I looked it up afterwards to see if it was based on true story or loosely based on somebody. It's not. Is it just a completely the director's the screenwriter's creation?
Yeah, so there's like kind of two bases for the movie. There's first there's an oil baron from Texas and like the kind of southwestern United States. I forgot his name. It was like some complicated, not super easy to remember name. But it's like kind of based on that story. He was a baron, he bought up like wells all across the Southwest, right? And then there is an Upton Sinclair novel called Oil. And that um it's kind of it follows. I think there's like it shares names of characters and it follows a similar trajectory. But the interesting thing is Oil focused on like a battle between labor unions
Mm.
and like the big oil titan that we see, rather than faith and capitalism or however you interpret this movie, right? So that was an interesting change to me in terms of like how we view this movie.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, there's kind of implicit like the workers are kind of dying all the time, but they never form a union and fight Plainview. They just kind of work and then die. Uh, and then there is, but it is like a big business versus small business thing. That's part of it. It's like he's the independent entrepreneur and they're the big corporation, but it's not exactly that like one is the bad guy in the situation. It seems like a pro-capitalist movie. I mean, it seems like yeah, they just do businesses and he succeeds. Why does he succeed? Does he rip people off? I mean, not really. I mean, he just builds things. And the company also builds things, and they compete, and somebody wins. It was a. I was expecting, what are these movies? You always expect them to have like some kind of anti-capitalist, anti-Gilded Age message, but I didn't see it here.
Yeah, so there's no character that's like supposed to be the moral voice of the movie that's being like, you can't just like buy up all these kind of wells like this, you can't just like do this and treat us like crap, you know. That's true. But I don't think the movie looks kindly on Daniel's greed, right?
No,
Like
it
his
doesn't.
kind of like lust for power and strength. And it doesn't like he doesn't end the movie in a good place as a result from his like
I
pursuit,
think he
right?
got
Like
in a good place. He got what he really wanted, which was to to kill that
beat
kill
the
that
shit out
woman.
of Paul Dano. Yeah. Um
Yeah, I mean, it certainly it doesn't for him. He's a tragic figure, certainly. Like, but that's not the standard critique of capitalism. That the capitalist dies bitter and unhappy. I guess it's like an old like a Scrooge kind of story where like Scrooge is just kind of suffering. Uh
right.
the Yeah, there's that. But yeah, it's right. It's a kind of it's a character study. But I think what it says about kind of the person who succeeded in that environment is good things. I mean, it says that he's whenever now look, there's a lot that's like you could say that's unsympathetic when the Sunday family, he kind of rips them off, or at least tries to rip them off for buying their land, or the rights to their land, and then the what else is there? There's a few little things like that, but generally,
He kills a
like,
guy.
he kills, but that's not related to. Yeah, I mean, it's not related to like business in any way. It's still his
Yes,
personal
that's true.
story, right? And there is like the people die all like the people are always just getting killed like while they're on the thing. So you do have that message, but I don't know. They're like compensated. It's it's like they're compensated for the risk. I think everyone knows the risk. Right. Oh, there's the other one where I think though maybe the more like message where you're supposed to think he doesn't care what happens, like when the well blows up in that time that situation where HW loses his hearing, and he's just like so happy because it turns out that there's a lot of oil under the land, and they're like,
Yeah.
is HW okay? He's like, no, he's not. So there is that. There is that. He is a figure who's greedy and go getting, but it's still like in the end, like most of the way he makes his money is through building stuff. And yeah, I mean, he just like maybe he rips people off once in a while, but that's not like kind of like the main story of how he gets wealthy, or his work.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think most people that I've like seen online in the past like 10 years that talk about this movie, it's like, this movie is like a critique of capitalism. I don't think I agree with that. That's true. I think it's about like a very certain type of like greed, right? Like the kind of robber baron greed, right? Like a hyper like American individualist kind of greed, I guess. And we can talk about that more in a second, but as evidence for this, I mean, when you start the movie, right, like you're clearly supposed to like admire what Plainview is doing, right? Like he breaks his leg and he drags himself out of there somehow, and then like drags himself across like the desert to this nearby place. Like you're supposed to be like this is like a really impressive guy, and like admire, I think, what he's doing and kind of like his need to survive. So I do think like, and that is like a capitalist spirit, right? So I think you're definitely supposed to admire that. And then at a certain point, I think Plainview kind of parts ways with that, and shows himself off to be like a little bit more than just the capitalist, right? To be
Yeah,
like a this like very like kind of greedy, power hungry individual.
and smart too. I mean, he sits there. He doesn't he build a little machine? Is it what he's doing at the beginning? Is he like getting? Is he personally like mining, kind of freelancing like away from the job? Is that what's going on? And he's like, is that's how he starts his business, by just going out there building his own machine, or maybe borrowing a machine from somebody? I don't know what he's doing, but sometimes somehow he's mining something, and that's how he uh that's how he starts out, right?
Yeah, they show him like he takes that hunk of coal, or not coal, sorry, oil, right? And he
It's a
he
hunk of
trades it
oil. Is
in.
that what it is? It's
Oil,
solid.
oil, yeah, yeah, the
Okay.
solid, yeah, it can be like liquefied, right? He takes it in and trades it for a check. Like they show the guy writing a check, right? and presumably he uses that to then hire a crew that he takes out there to like actually, you know, properly, you know, drill for oil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I didn't. So I when I watch this, so like there's gonna be spoilers, so jump around. But this is about the beginning of the movie too. When he tells HW, the older one, that he's not his son, I missed that. So to me, like all these men look the same. Like I didn't actually know that was Daniel at the beginning. Actually, like I had to go back and watch, and I couldn't. I
He's
didn't.
covered with oil.
Yeah, and I didn't catch that like that other guy was holding the baby, and then then he took the baby. Like that's I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know that, but that's apparently true. It is. It's not supposed to be unambiguous, right? HW is not his actual son, right?
Yeah,
Or is
yeah.
could he be?
He's not his son. He's not. Definitely not.
We know that. Well, do we know? I mean, do we know that? Because other guy's holding him. I guess would a guy hold another guy's baby? I don't know. Yeah, probably. Right. I mean, probably not. Right. So it is. You say we definitely.
Like they show like they like make it like the shot, right? It's like very clear, like, hey, this is his baby. They set the baby down, then they have the guy get killed,
Mhm.
and then, you know, the baby's sitting there alone. Like
Mhm.
it's like as heavily implied as I think you can
Yeah,
get.
yeah. I think that's right. And then he tells him at the end, "Yeah, I found you in a basket." Yeah, it's yeah. So he goes through, he does these things, and then like the son is like kind of like the only thing, like it's like a little helper. I mean, it's just kind of like, the only
Yeah.
thing. And, he genuinely cares for him. I don't think he's thinking at that point that he's going to use him for business. Like, what do you think? You think he just gets? I think it's kind of a realization that comes later.
Um. Yeah, this is an open question for me. I do think when he picks him up, he's like thinking like, okay, like I think he's caring for the guy, like out of like a normal kind of like, you know, you gotta take care of affairs, you know, you can't just like have a baby sitting around and I'm the boss around here, right? That kind of thing. And then I think like he starts to realize, you know, as he's like maybe trying to figure out what to do with the baby, like, okay, you know, it wouldn't be bad for me to have, you know, this kid with me, especially because I don't have a wife. You know, I do think there was a certain cynicism there from the beginning. However, I think there was like a genuine love that he had for the kid. Like they show scenes where, you know, he's like laying against him, you know, taking care of him, and like
Yeah,
they show like lots of genuine love.
yeah,
And I so that like there's a reason for that, right?
yeah, yeah. And why does he have? He has no women anywhere. Like he never meets any women or is with any women. Like that's kind of something that's missing, right?
Yeah, I mean, he does talk about when he's talking with Henry on the beach,
Mm.
right? He's like, "Oh yeah, you know, liquor the women up and take them out to the Petri dance." So like, he's like a straight kind of like normal sexual like being, right? He's just like
Presumably, yeah,
so uninterested in it. I think it's to kind of get at like his kind of perverse, um, like a form of connection, right, to people. I think that's what they're trying to get at. And
mm.
I thought about that
Mm.
this a little bit with this watch, and I think it's kind of like a Nietzschean love. I think is how I would describe it. Right?
Mm.
He loves these people, first HW and then Henry, as like agents to spread Plainviewism and to spread his empire throughout the world. Right? Like to externalize what's going on within him, and that's why he abandons HW and, you know, starts like saying you mean nothing to me when he asserts his independence because he's no longer an agent of himself any
Yeah,
longer. He's like this independent thing. And that's why he doesn't care anymore. And he kills the other guy when he finds out he's not actually a blood relative because there's nothing inside him, right? Um, that actually
yeah.
ties him to Daniel. And he specifically says, Henry says, and it stop me if I'm like jumping too far ahead,
Mm.
but Henry's like, yeah, hey, just let me go and I'll run away, whatever. He's not saying like, hey, I've enjoyed serving you, I'm going to keep doing this. He says he admits that he's basically been in it for himself that whole time,
Mm.
like that he's like a leech basically. And I think that's what causes Daniel to kill him, right?
Yeah.
So these people that he forms a connection with, it's like these are people like who can help like spread my empire and like my way of doing things, right? That's why he loves them. It's sort
Mm,
of like how I like my picture like Elon Musk's love for his
mm,
kids, you
mm,
know, I
mm.
guess. But
Yeah. 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 There are kind of ideological projects. He's kind of pronatalist and wants to have a lot of kids. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I guess that's right. I guess he's, adopted child. That's good enough. Um, I don't think HW believes him when like, like, what would you believe that? It seems like it seems like a made up story he made. If you had no indication of that your whole life, and then suddenly he told you that when he was angry, I think you wouldn't believe him. It seems like a unusual story.